Sydney Taylor called game against my Las Vegas Aces with a dagger three to end regulation. And at this point, I think it's time for us to have that conversation about who is Sydney Taylor? Where did she even come from? You probably didn't hear about her because she spent her first 4 years of college at the University of Massachusetts before transferring over to Louisville for her graduate season. In that 2023-2024 season, Louisville was 24-10. She had multiple games where she was the leading scorer, and she even finished the season with a team high of 57 made threes. But that 2024 draft class was historic, literally game changing. If you're not coming out of a powerhouse school, if you're not playing in the SEC, if your team is not making a deep run into March Madness, you can get drowned out by the noise. In this case, the noise was the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, Rakia, Cam Brink. You get it. She went undrafted and was like, bet. This is not where my story ends. She went overseas for 2 years in Lithuania and Poland, putting up 22 points a game. And now in 2026, she signs a contract with the Chicago Sky. Now I know that Jeff P. and the Chicago Sky front office catch a lot of flack, as they should, but this is by far one of the best moves that any team has made this season. This is like discovering an indie artist before they blow. Sydney Taylor is a star with a blue collar mentality. She's playing with max confidence right now. And in this matchup against the Aces, at one point she was 1 for 6, but she just kept shooting. That shows her confidence, but that also shows that she has the ultimate green light on this team. She ended the game with 29 points, 39% from the floor, and 41% from deep. And I know that she is the star of this contest, but it was the Chicago Sky defense that altered the outcome of this game from the very start. They made the lane very congested for the Aces early on. They made it a physical game. And anytime it's a low-scoring game, that works more in the favor for Chicago. What's really impressive is that at times, Chicago was running a 4-guard lineup, and they were still getting stops in the paint. A'ja had 36 points in this game. It's really hard to critique that, but I have to say, this was a physical game. There were multiple stoppages throughout the game to get blood off of the floor. I feel that the Aces struggle in physical matchups, and I think they also struggle when A'ja gets too caught up in officiating. I think it's a distraction, and I also think that it rubs off on her teammates. Now they're all caught up in the officiating and physicality of it. Now we're trying to sell the foul more than we're trying to make the shot. But much of the Aces' frustrations can be attributed to the Chicago Sky's defense, and their defense has gotten even stronger since working DiJonai Carrington into the lineup. The second half of the season is when we watch teams either fly or crash, and it looks like Chicago wants to fly. But what are your thoughts, Hoops Tribe? How do you feel about Sydney Taylor and this matchup against the Aces? Let's talk hoops.